What if a horror movie could bring zombies to life in the real world? Not because of some scientific experiment, but just because you watched it. In a small town called Carverville, two teenagers recklessly screen a classic horror film titled Zombie Town, without realizing it would open the actual gates of hell. And worse, the movie turns people into real zombies. This is the chaotic, funny, and terrifying story of Zombie Town 2023, a teen adventure facing the undead terror that they themselves unleashed. The story begins with two high school best friends, Mike and Amy. Mike is a bookish guy and a true film lover. In his spare time, he works a part-time job as a movie theater attendant. Amy is more independent, smart, and highly curious. They live in a quiet, rather boring small town. Until one day, they hear shocking news. There will be a special screening of the classic horror film Zombie Town at an old theater that had been closed for years. This film is legendary, directed by Len Carver, a mysterious filmmaker who retired suddenly. The movie was never officially released. In fact, many say the film is cursed. But the Carverville theater owner is a huge fan of Len Carver, and because of that, he decides to screen the film in his theater. At school, Mike gets detention for a month for being late to class. Ms. Bonnard suggests he watch the upcoming zombie film, but Mike isn't interested. Hearing that, Ms. Bonnard pressures him to watch it because it was directed by a famous filmmaker. Even when Mike arrives at work, his friends beg for the movie to be played early because they're die-hard fans who can't wait. And when the director himself enters the theater, the three of them even bow down and worship him. Carver carries a round stone with an Illuminati eye at its center. No one knows what it's for. During the meeting, Carver hears the film poster whispering to him, urging him to destroy all his movies, which terrifies him. A mannequin falls on him, knocking him unconscious. The movie's release is then postponed. Only Ms. Bernard watches it that night. Mike and Amy, overwhelmed with curiosity, sneak into the theater, load up the old film reel, and sit in the audience, ready to watch the rarest horror film of all time. But they don't know one thing. Once the projector lights up and the film begins to roll, something strange happens. A thin mist appears. Weird sounds emerge. Then light and white fog pour out of the projector. The two hide under the cover Carver brought earlier. The glowing white light spreads and causes everyone exposed to it to change. They transform into zombies. The town is in danger. But at first, Mike and Amy don't realize what's happening. They see Ms. Bonnard walking strangely, her eyes blank. Mike greets his friends, but then the police arrive, only to have their souls sucked out and turned into zombies too. Mike and Amy panic and flee. They never expected their movie night would awaken the film's curse. Within hours, Carverville descends into chaos. The townspeople turn into zombies, spreading the virus rapidly. Even scarier, these zombies aren't just hunting people, they're drawn to light, lamps, TVs, projectors, as if they're still connected to the film. Mike realizes the only way to stop this is to find the original director, Len Carver. Mike and Amy rush to the theater owner's house first. Along the way, they're chased by a zombie driving a car, but it gets blocked by another zombie pushing a baby in a stroller. Yep, all at night. When they arrive, they find that Leonardo has already turned into a zombie. The director finally starts to tell them everything. Len admits that Zombie Town was made using real cursed footage. Years ago, he accidentally discovered an ancient spell during filming. He wanted to create a horror movie that truly came to life, but it ended up becoming too real. Len believed all reels of the film had been destroyed, but one reel survived, and now it's been reopened. Carver must retrieve the key to the warehouse, because that's where it all began. At his home, his child is hosting a party, and everyone has become a zombie, including his own child. Carver begins performing a ritual, reading the spell aloud and burning the film reel locked inside a sacrificial chest. Meanwhile, Mike and Amy rush to stop the movie still playing in the theater and set it on fire. The next morning, everyone has returned to normal. Mike and Amy are now officially a couple.